Hey everyone, welcome back to Lesotho Earning Tips. Today, we're diving deep into the art of cold calling, covering basic techniques to advance strategies. Cold calling can be daunting, but with the right techniques and mindset, it can be incredibly effective. So, let's start with the basics. First up, let's discuss some essential cold calling techniques. Despite all the digital marketing strategies, cold calling is far from dead. It's still one of the most direct and effective ways to reach decision makers and generate leads. Effective cold calling requires preparation, a clear objective, and the ability to engage your prospect quickly. You need to know who you're talking to, what their pain points are, and how you can offer them value. Research your prospects beforehand to understand their needs and tailor your pitch accordingly. This approach will make your calls more relevant and increase your chances of success. Think about it. Would you rather pick up a call from someone who clearly knows your business or someone who's just reading from a generic script? People can spot a generic pitch a mile away. They want to feel like you're genuinely interested in helping them, not just trying to make a quick sale. Before you even think about picking up the phone, take some time to learn about your prospect's business. The more you know, the better you can tailor your pitch to their specific needs. Remember, the key to effective cold calling is to be prepared, be relevant, and be engaging. Now let's talk about the actual process of making a cold call. This is where things can get a little nerve-wracking, especially if you're new to this. But trust me, it's not as scary as it seems. First things first, start with a friendly introduction, stating who you are and why you're calling. The key is to be polite, professional, and get to the point quickly. Keep your introduction brief and to the point. Remember, the goal is to capture their interest within the first few seconds. Once you've introduced yourself, it's time to engage the prospect. Ask open-ended questions to encourage them to talk about their needs and challenges. Practice active listening, and be prepared to adapt your pitch based on the prospect's responses. Don't just rattle off a script. Listen to what they have to say and tailor your responses accordingly. Remember, cold calling is a conversation, not a monologue. Let's dive into some valuable cold calling tips that I've gathered over the years. First and foremost, timing is everything. Research suggests that the best times to make cold calls are early in the morning or late in the afternoon. People are less likely to be in meetings or busy with other tasks during these times. They're more likely to be at their desks and available to talk. Second, always follow a script, but don't sound robotic. A script gives you a framework for the conversation and helps you stay on track. Use the script as a guide and keep the conversation natural. Don't be afraid to deviate from the script if the conversation takes an unexpected turn. Lastly, be persistent, but polite. Remember, you're calling them out of the blue, so don't expect them to be over the moon to hear from you. You're going to get a lot of rejections, it's just part of the game. But don't let that discourage you. It often takes multiple attempts to reach a prospect. Chapter 4. Cold Calling Scripts. Having a well-crafted cold calling script is like having a secret weapon in your back pocket. It gives you a roadmap for your call, helps you stay on track, and ensures you're conveying the right message. But remember, a script is a guide, not a straitjacket. Your script should include an engaging opening, a clear value proposition, and questions to qualify the prospect. The goal is to hook them from the start, pique their interest, and make them want to learn more. Here's a simple structure. Introduction, reason for the call, value proposition, qualifying questions, and closing statement. The introduction is where you introduce yourself and your company. The reason for the call is where you explain why you're calling and what you're hoping to achieve. The value proposition is where you really sell them on why they should care about what you're offering. Qualifying questions help you gauge their interest, understand their needs, and determine if they're a decision maker. Finally, your closing statement is where you summarize the key takeaways from the call and outline the next steps. Chapter 5. Effective Cold Calling. Now let's talk about what really separates the amateurs from the pros when it comes to cold calling. Effectiveness. Effective cold calling is about more than just following a script. It's about building rapport and establishing a connection with your prospect. You want them to feel like you're a human being genuinely interested in helping them, not just another salesperson trying to hit their quota. One of the best ways to build rapport is to show genuine interest in their needs and offer solutions that can help them. Ask questions, listen to their answers, and try to understand their perspective. Remember, the goal is to start a conversation, not to make a sale on the first call. Sometimes it takes multiple interactions to build trust and establish a relationship. Focus on providing value, building relationships, and positioning yourself as a trusted advisor. Chapter 6. Cold Calling for Beginners. I remember when I first started cold calling, it was like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. I had no idea what I was doing, and I made every mistake in the book. But over time, I learned from my experiences, refined my approach, and developed a system that worked for me. For beginners, cold calling can be intimidating. My advice is to start by setting realistic goals, such as making a certain number of calls per day. Start small, focus on consistency, and gradually increase your volume over time. Track your progress and learn from each call. Keep a log of your calls, note down what worked well, and identify areas for improvement. This will help you refine your approach and become more effective over time. Don't be discouraged by rejections. Instead, use them as learning opportunities to improve your approach. Remember, every rejection is an opportunity to learn and grow. Chapter 7. Now let's talk specifically about sales cold calling, because let's be real, that's what most people are using cold calling for. And in the world of sales, cold calling can be a real game changer. It's a direct line to your target market, a chance to build relationships, and a powerful tool for generating new business opportunities. The key to successful sales cold calling is to stay positive and focused. Remember, you're calling to offer solutions and help businesses grow. Use each call as a chance to refine your sales techniques. Every call is a learning opportunity. Analyze what worked well, identify areas for improvement, and constantly strive to improve your skills. Keep your energy high and remain enthusiastic, as this will resonate with your prospects. Enthusiasm is contagious. If you're excited about what you're offering, your prospects will be more likely to pick up on that energy and be more receptive to your message. Chapter 8. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about B2B cold calling, which comes with its own unique set of challenges and rewards. In the B2B world, the stakes are often higher, the sales cycles are longer, and the decision-making process can be more complex. When it comes to B2B cold calling, the stakes can be higher, but so are the rewards. You're not just selling a product or service, you're selling a solution that can impact a company's bottom line. The key to success in B2B cold calling is to focus on identifying the decision-makers within the organizations you're targeting. Do your research, identify the key decision-makers, and tailor your pitch accordingly. Customize your approach based on the industry and the specific challenges faced by the business. Every industry has its own unique language, pain points, and buying processes. Remember, B2B cold calling is all about building relationships, understanding your prospects' needs, and offering solutions that can help them achieve their business objectives. Chapter 9. Finally, let's talk about some cold calling strategies that can help you take your game to the next level. Because in today's competitive market, it's not enough to just pick up the phone and hope for the best. One of the most effective strategies is to use a multi-touch approach, combining calls with emails and social media interactions. People are bombarded with messages from all directions these days. So, it's important to reach out through multiple channels to increase your chances of getting noticed. Personalize your communications and follow up consistently to build relationships over time. Don't just send generic cookie-cutter messages. Take the time to personalize your communications and show your prospects that you're paying attention. Another effective strategy is to use data and analytics to track your results and identify areas for improvement. Track your metrics, analyze your data, and use that information to refine your approach and get better results. Finally, don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. Outro. So, there you have it, guys. My top tips and strategies for mastering the art of cold calling. Remember, cold calling is a numbers game. The more calls you make, the more opportunities you'll create for yourself. Now go out there, crush those calls, and start seeing those conversions skyrocket.